My guest today is the queen of online event coverage. When OloriSuperGal is on the scene, you know you are completely covered and everybody is going to hear. 2023 was the worst year possible for its founder, Tosin Ajibade. In May, she was on top of the world, covering 3 of the major events on the cultural calendar. Obi Cubana's big vow renewal, the Cookathon, Guinness World Record making Cookathon by Hilda Baci, and the presidential inauguration at the Eagle Square in Abuja, her first presidential inauguration. Everything was going well. And within 1 month, she had lost the biggest asset in her arsenal, her Instagram page where all the magic happens. Over 1 million followers gone. And a few months after, she realized she could no longer put off what for some would be a life-threatening surgery for fibroid. For 3 years, fear had stopped her from doing this surgery, and she couldn't dodge anymore. How scarier could the year get? But Tosin is standing here today. She has won back tens of thousands of those followers. She ended the year with multiple viral videos. In fact, the day before she got in for this interview, there was one more viral video on the internet. You know, the surgery is done, the fibroid is gone, and she's here to testify. She says she has not shared any of these stories before in the public because she didn't want pity. But from a place of strength, recovery, lessons, and even though she doesn't want to use the word courage, Tosin is here to testify. For a shy person, you've chosen one of the most public jobs, not just being a public person, but even part of how you grew up, which in terms of access to events, you know, interviews, all of that. How did you manage that?
When people meet me, they say, so you're this quiet. I never knew you're this quiet.
Right.
And when they start with that statement, I just look at them like, well, it's because you don't know me. You only know my job. You've seen the name, you've seen the brand, you've seen what the brand can do or what the job entails, but you don't know the person behind the platform.
Right.
So when they meet me at first, they, you know how people can be, they'll just try to know you. And I've been in spaces where, because of my job or what the job is tagged as, you know, when people say blogger, I don't like that term blogger.
Right.
It just erases everything you've done.
The complexity of the work.
It just reduces you to nothing. So that's just, it just reduces it to, from you to like, who are you? So I just tell people that, well, I'm a shy person. I'm a quiet person, you know, and I'm reserved. So when they get to see that part of me where I'm just the opposite of my work, then we begin to blend, we begin to talk. So my work and my personality were just like this.
So how do you find the courage to start out, you know, in this? Because if you're a shy person,
Yes.
not a person that, you know, typically would go and ask for stuff, then you branch out on your own,
Yes.
you know, and not now that it's cool. You branch out on your own then when there were, as usual, very few women, you know, in the digital space, you know, very, very few. But also when people were like, this thing is a joke, you know, which is where, you know, the whole dismissive blogger thing came from.
Yes.
This is not a career you can build, you know. And I remember thinking to myself at the time when you started this, that how is there money to be made here, you know? So how did you find the courage to launch a digital product? This is how many years ago?
14 now.
14 years. How did you find the courage?
So there was no courage. Okay, let me just say that, because there was no courage anyway.
Yeah.
I think what started off was passion.
Right.
So, and delving into even an industry that I didn't know anyone ahead of me that had done it or that had achieved it, because then we would see engineers, we would see doctors or accountants or lawyers. You can actually tell that this is their profession.
Yeah.
But in my case, I think not forgetting that I also have a background in accounting.
Yes, you studied, you had your BSc in accounting.
BSc in accounting, and okay, sorry, I actually failed ATS,
right.
which is the exam you have to, write to qualify to be an account. Like I failed.
Right.
And once you fail a course, you have to start all over again. It was at that point I told my dad that I can't do this. So delving into this job was more or less like I was just sailing on my own. Like it felt like I was just doing my own thing and everybody was just like, hey, I pity you. You're supposed to be in the bank right now. You're supposed to, my dad would call it white collar job. That thing, it was in my head all the time because he would always ask me, like, what are you doing exactly? Watch your laptop, I'm sorry I'm speaking Yoruba,
yes,
but
so
like...
she's saying, you stay in front of the laptop. What are you doing?
What are you doing? And there was something that was just leading me on. I can't really put it together. I can't really say what it is. Now, let me break it to you.
Okay.
The first time I heard about blogging was at the symposium at Welcome Center.
Oh, the Future Awards Symposium, right.
Exactly.
Have you ever felt like quitting?
Yes, a lot of times. Quitting. They say when they say quitters don't win, winners don't quit. Nah.
Yeah.
I've had that a lot of times because number one, like I'll keep going back to the fact that the job just reduces you to nothing, and that also affects my self-esteem. So I'm this type of person that on a normal day, I don't like trouble. I mean, and when I tell people I don't like trouble, it's not because I don't like confrontations. I work with my mental, strength.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of energy from me. Anger and all of that takes a lot from me. Knowing that and knowing what is good for me, I rather choose peace.
What kind of things have made you want to quit?
Making money from this business is one of the key things because people, I will laugh because I think the yearling that bought that house, wahala, like everything just seemed like you've been wasting your time. What are you doing? I mean, everywhere was just buzzing, and I think at that time, the rise of bloggers also, boomed. Like it came out again. There were lots of bloggers, lots of people in the business. Even trying to create a bloggers association was difficult because
For those that don't understand,
sorry.
Because one person has bought a big house. What are the rest of you doing? Coming to form association. Yeah.
So associations, doing that, forming associations didn't make sense or made sense. But at the end of the day, what are we doing? Like, and people would ask, how do you guys make money? We make money through ads. We make money through featured posts or articles and everything. And they'll keep looking at, are you sure you know what you are doing? And that has also put us also in another state where you also have to ask yourself, are you sure about what you are doing?
You build your platform, to over 1 million followers on Instagram.
Yes.
And then wake up one morning and this platform is gone. 1 million hard-earned followers. How did you find out that this had happened?
All right, so this was on June 22nd, 2023. We were having a training at that time. So my staff was with me at that time, and she was uploading on the page our pictures or videos from the class. And the next thing she said, she called me aside and said, look at what I just saw on our page, and I saw your account has been suspended. You have 180 days to whatever they wrote there to get back and all of that. So, and because I had guests in front of me or people in front of me, I had to chest it. So knowing what it was, I was already doing my mental calculation.
Yeah.
So the way it happened, it was like breaking news in my head, but it was unbelievable at the same time. Yeah. And the fact that we were still actively on the account and that thing just popped up on the screen, it became worse because where and how did this happen and what exactly did we do to get to this point? So doing what I was doing was just from my own way of getting things sorted. Yeah. And then having to call someone that I know to help us, look into the issue, and having to calm my staff down who was also throwing up in the whole process, and people also telling me at the time, don't worry, things will get back. So you know, days went into weeks went into months, chasing, calling people, talking to people, looking for old staff members, doing a lot. You know, someone from the US even reached out to me. How far? What have you done? You know, I said all that I've done and everything, and it didn't even seem like he was coming back. But I mean, in mind that they gave us 180 days, I was keeping that hope was just there.
Yeah.
And now we started from zero. When I got home that evening, I had this voice in my spirit, just do a video. So with my tiredness and, you know, the way I was looking at how, you know, terrible the whole event had happened, I opened up my phone and did a video apologizing to our clients, our followers, saying this has happened and we are working towards in getting it back. And I posted and, you know, people started sharing. People started sending, oh, sorry, you get it back. Or some people on my WhatsApp telling me I should tag celebrities, I should tag people, I should tell them to repost. I've helped these people before. People were giving me, you know, advice, but where's the strength to even do it? Where's the strength to start chasing someone to help me repost or hello, Ejo, eba me repost video. What you have? I mean, this is. I'm sorry, but it was just crazy for me. When you were at the start, like just a few months ago, and the next thing, you are nothing. It just went from this to this, and we struggled. When my staff post, she would hide the likes. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And you know, while all of this happened, you know, I also didn't know that I was also going to face one of the biggest fears of my life, even at that time.
Right.
So, and this had to do with my health.
Yeah.
So it was really crazy. And then few people from the brand angle actually stood with us.
Right.
Oh God, I'm grateful to them.
Yeah.
So that actually helped me scale through because I sought counseling. I was looking for answers. I was looking for help. I needed help really bad. And few came in and some even stood with us even while the business was down. So those little money that came in, we were also able to pay the bills. When we had our 10,000 followers, my staff was so happy.
Yes,
Like it was so,
yeah.
Ma, things like it. Because she would always hide the likes. That's how bad it was. So I also had to encourage myself. So having gone through the phase I went through in November, which had to do with my health.
Yes.
Then December was my recovery period. And Funke was about to release her movie.
Yes, Funke Akindele.
Yes, Funke Akindele. She was about to release her movie. So she sent us a DM. She invited us for the premiere, sent emails, sent DMs. And the one that really, you know, busted my brain was when she called. And she called, Tosin, Mungbo lose account and everything. She spoke to me. She encouraged me, you know, encouraged me to pray, encouraged me to fast, gave me experiences, life experiences that even she herself had, you know, passed through and even scaled. And look at her today.
Yeah.
That was an unexpected call.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
But she attended to my issue at that time.
So not just words.
Not just
but
words.
Also actual support.
Actual support.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, Eloni, like how much is it? Okay, don't worry. Maniki Biola, Kukbe and everything. And that was just it. And me, that was just the recovery, you know. That ginger came.
Yeah.
And the words she said to me stirred up that thing. Like, what is that thing that you have inside of you? Get it out. Do not sit or drown in it. You understand? And that thing just really helped me find myself again. Like, we are going back. We are going to do this work together.
You're gonna do it.
And that helped.
Yeah.